Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Right On Network Countdown to 2021. Happy December 4th, everyone. I'm Ashford. Along with me is Diane. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Ashford.
Okay, so the question we have up is Zukakuri. How do you say it?
Tsukiakari.
Zukiakari. Zukiakari 1203 asks, why do you think DC treats the two Huntresses as interchangeable? They're so different from each other. Diane?
That's actually a great question. It actually goes back to the fact that the Huntress was herself a casualty of Crisis on Infinite Earths. And I remember reading in an issue of previews from a few years back that the Huntress co-creator, Joe Staton, he wanted to find a way to salvage the character instead of having that character just fade into obscurity in the post-crisis continuity. But then the challenge became is how do we revitalize the Helena Wayne character to make her functional in a new DC universe where her parents are literally the same age as her. So what ended up happening is that he actually could not consult with Paul Levitz on that because by then Paul Levitz had moved on to a new position at DC. So they actually recruited the last person who wrote Helena Wayne's storyline in the pre-crisis continuity, which was Joey Cavalieri. And so they consulted with Joey Cavalieri, and it was actually Joey Cavalieri who worked up a new origin for the Huntress. As a daughter of a crime boss. So the original concept here is that Helena Bertinelli was never meant to be a new character or a new person to take over the role of the Huntress. She was always created as a new origin story for the original Helena Wayne Huntress in order to make her functional in the post-crisis DC universe. It's also for this reason that the Helena Bertinelli Huntress post-crisis was often, referencing Helena Wayne in some capacity, even in her origin stories, whether that be the original Joey Cavalieri origin story or the Greg Rucka origin story or the Ivory Madison origin story. They all reference Helena Wayne in some capacity. They all, acknowledge the fact that Helena Bertinelli in another continuity used to be Helena Wayne. So to answer Tsukiakari's question, it literally goes back to the fact that the Huntress was a casualty of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and so the Helena Wayne character got retooled into the Helena Bertinelli character post-crisis to keep her around and keep her active instead of just having that character fade into obscurity. So it was actually done, the change from Helena Wayne to Helena Bertinelli was literally done to save the character and, keep using the character. So it was a way of salvaging her from, just disappearing. And that's literally the reason that they get treated as interchangeable by DC Comics. It all goes back to the fact that, it's meant to be one character, but this one character ended up with two different backstories as a result of a reboot, really.
What do you think they're going to do with these characters? It seems like there's some type of industry shakeup going on in DC Comics right now.
Mm-hmm.
If we get to see these, yeah, go ahead.
Go on.
Well, I was just going to say, if we get to see these characters on the other side of it, what would you like to see?
I think that because post-death metal, they're going to reinstate every version of every character that ever was. I think what's going to end up happening moving forward is that instead of a strict single universe continuity like we've been getting for the past 3 decades, I think DC is moving towards, a multiverse concept, and I think that they're going to end up using the multiverse to launch, different series of books or different series of franchises. So for example, I think that Helena Wayne works perfectly as an Earth 2 character. So just, bring back the classic Earth 2, incorporate some of the new 52 characters and concepts onto that world. And you can literally, bring the classic Helena Wayne Huntress back to her roots. And you can actually, continue telling that character's story the way Paul Levitz, Joe Staton, and Bob Layton originally envisioned. The other thing too is that, if since the Birds of Prey franchise actually thrived better in the post-crisis continuity, they could end up doing a line that's a post-crisis line, and you get the post-crisis Birds of Prey again. So from what we know about DC moving forward, they're going to ditch the single Earth continuity, and they're going to go for something of an omniverse concept where you explore different timelines or different takes on the DC universe. We could have, a classic Earth 2 line that brings back the original Helena Wayne Huntress, and you can probably get a post-crisis line that brings back the post-crisis Birds of Prey, which is where the Helena Bertinelli Huntress originally thrived. So, and I think that they'll probably still use the New 52 version as well in some capacity. So I think that moving forward, it's just going to be different takes on different characters. It's no longer going to be beating to the sound of one drum. It's now going to be beating to the sound of multiple drums, from what I understand of the concept so far. Because right now, as you said, there's a massive shakeup going on at DC right now, structurally. So I do expect to see changes moving forward in 2021.